Alright guys, so in our adventure game, what we're doing is we're creating a zone that would damage the player until the player collects a damaged item. So up to this point, we would have just finished creating the gate item that requires a certain thing to be killed, whether it be a couple of spawners or a single enemy with extra hit points or something, that this thing would disappear, and behind it players would find a special protection item that would now let them travel into the danger area, or the death zone, as it were. So we're going to go ahead and create the damage area that gates the player from moving forward, and the item that will protect them. Okay. So I'm just clearing my map away because I've got a real small map. By now you probably have a much larger map. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go into our blueprint folder, and we'll create a new folder that we'll just call hazards. Inside of our hazards folder, we will create a blueprint class actor that we will call BP damage volume. Okay, we're going to open up the damage volume. We're just going to add a simple box collider. And we will call this the damage box. Okay. So this can be resized to fit our danger area. So if we wanted to, we could just go into our level here. We could bring it into our level, and you can see its size. Okay, so we can go in here to the box extents, for instance, and we can adjust these to be like 100 by 100. I'm just going to go 200 on the Z because, again, 2D. Just to be next, right? So then we got a nice little damage zone. Now you could expand this to be like an entire size of the map, or whatever you want. I'm going to go ahead and put this over here, actually. And you know what we'll do is we'll do on the X, let's do like 200 on the X. So let's just say that like I had a slightly more flushed out map, and that like player comes down around this cliff edge and going in this direction would be, you know, the final boss or exit from the world, or, you know, what have you, right? But then we have a gate, or so while the player is in here, they'd be taking damage. They need a protect item first before they can travel safely through the zone. Okay. So we already have a damage item, right? So like our health component that we've made with our own collision set. So let's just go and use that collision set. So we'll go in here with our collider selected, and we'll change our preset to hit detection. All right, so now we've got a volume set up. So now let's go to our hero. So we're going to do this simultaneously. So if we go to our hero blueprint, we are going to create his ability to be protected from that zone. So we'll create a variable that we will call as protection. And this will be a Boolean. Okay, so right now that Boolean by default will stay false. So obviously, player doesn't have protection from it yet. Okay, now we can create another variable back in our damage volume here. We'll create a variable, and we'll call this the damage amount. Okay, this will be a float, and we'll compile, and we'll default the damage to just 1, and we'll create another float that we will call damage interval. We will compile so that we can set this to 1. Sorry, no, we'll set this to 5. Now we've got a collider, that's a zone. It's got the ability to do damage over a certain amount of time. So we go to our event graph here. We won't need any of these right now. So we can grab our damage box, right click, add event on component begin overlap. Okay. So for the other actor, we want to check for the hero. So we're going to cast to BP hero. And then off of the if successful, we'll check if they have protection. So first, let's promote the hero reference to a variable. Off of the hero ref, we'll rename this hero reference, or just hero ref is fine. We can check for that variable that we gave it. So we can say as protection. We can get whether or not they have protection. And we can just add a not bool. And then with our branch, we can check the condition. So if the player does not have protection, then that would mean off of our branch, we can set timer by event. Okay. And our time will be the damage interval. Looping true. Okay, we're going to create a custom event that we will call apply. Damage volume. We'll create event off of there, and we will add our apply damage volume event. Okay, and we'll promote this return to a variable that we will call damage timer handle. Great. So now this should handle the damage upon overlap, but when the player runs away in fear, which is our objective, we will take our damage block, add event, and end the overlap. So at some point the player will go, well, I shouldn't be here. This hurts. So we will end the damage at some point. And we can use our hero reference again. We can check for equal to the other actor. Okay, and then we can check a branch. And of course, if the other actor is the hero, we can, off of true, we can do something called clear and invalidate timer by handle. So that's the little variable that we just made. So just to be extra sure, we'll bring in we'll get this and plug it into there. Right. And then we will set, we'll just grab the hero reference and set the hero reference here. Okay. And then with our new damage over here, damage volume, we will check for valid. We can bring in a hero reference and we'll just get it, but then we'll right click, convert to a valid get. We're just going to say, hey, is this valid still? Is this still a thing? And then if it is valid, then we will just apply. Wow, we can apply damage. All right, and then of course the amount of damage that we're going to apply will be base damage, and the damage causer is self. Our volume. Right, so if we go test this now, I walk over here every 5 seconds or so. I should be losing health. Oh, I forgot to add the hero reference to the damaged actor. Now if we go test, every 5 seconds, there we go, I took damage. Okay, so now we just need to create the protection reward item. Okay, so for that we already have on our hero a new variable that says has protection, which means we just need to go into our blueprint folder and we'll go into our pickups folder. And sorry, we got our pickup base, so we'll right click, create a child blueprint class. We will call this BP pickup protection, and then let's go. So we got our paper sprite, we can change it. I don't have any real sprites in this project right now, so I'll just leave it as the default sprite. So we'll go to our event graph here, and in the functions, we got override, and we will go down and select the handle pickup. Okay. So from the handle pickup, we'll just grab a reference to the hero here, and we'll set as protection true. Okay. So when the pickup takes place for this particular item, we switch protection value to true on the hero. That should be it. That's simple. So now if we go into here and we take our new fancy protection item and I hit play, there's the item, right? So if I go over here, I should take a point of damage in 5 seconds. There it is. And I can run away, pick up the protection. Now I am no longer damaged by the protection zone or the damage zone. Okay, so now you have all the tools you need to create some gated gameplay. You've got a gate item you can use to block off the protection item from anyone successfully gathering it until they've completed a certain task. In this case, the task for us will be destroying some object or monster. And when they get the protection item, they will be able to travel through the damage zone safely to get to the final stage / moment, which is going to be our boss battle. So stick around and stay tuned for that.